Good morning. I welcome you all to the series of lectures on internal combustion engines. Today we are going to discuss about why smoke is more in CI engine when operated at chemically correct mixture, that is a stoichiometric ratio. If the mixture is chemically correct or stoichiometric, then it gives more smoke, and why it is giving like that we will see. In a CI engine, for a given speed and irrespective of the load, approximately constant supply of air enters the cylinder. That means all the time, irrespective of the load, maybe load is no load or full load, irrespective of the load and speed, approximately constant supply of air enters the cylinder, and the CI engine therefore can be termed as constant air supply engine. And with the change in load, that means if the load increases, the quantity of the fuel increases. If load decreases, the quantity of fuel decreases. So with change in load, the quantity of fuel is changed, which changes the air fuel ratio. So actually the air fuel ratio, the range of air fuel ratios in CI engines are from 20:1 to 100:1. 20:1 at no full load, 100:1 at no load. 100 means 100 kg of air, 1 kg of fuel. 20 kg full load means 20 kg of air, 1 kg of fuel. So it is for full load condition, and this is for no load condition. So but inflammable limit of hydrocarbon fuels is only 8:1 to 30:1. So that means this is only the inflammable limit. But even at the full load also, it is somewhat lean mixture. The chemically correct mixture is 15:1 is the 15:1 or 15.6:1 is the chemically correct ratio. But at full load also, this CI engine is operating at no load, because if it is operating at a chemically correct ratio, it gives more smoke. Then if it is the inflammable limit of hydrocarbon fuels is 8:1 to 30:1, then how does the combustion occur in CI engine when the mixture is much leaner than 30:1? So that means if the mixture is much leaner than 30:1, sometime it may go to 100:1 also. So at that time, how the combustion initiate? Already you guys know, in CI engine, compression ignition engine, in the suction stroke, air alone enters. At the end of compression, that means almost piston reaches to top dead center. At the end of compression, we are injecting the fuel. At that time, it have very less time. So as it is having less time, so the fuel cannot completely mix with air. So that means it is a heterogeneous mixture. The condition of the air fuel mixture inside the combustion chamber of a CI engine is heterogeneous mixture. Heterogeneous mixture means it is not constant throughout, the phase is not constant. So for example, this is the engine cylinder. So somewhere more amount of air is there, less amount of fuel, so completely lean. Somewhere completely fuel, very less amount of air. Completely fuel, more amount of fuel, less amount of air. More amount of fuel, less amount of air. So that means it is more rich mixture. Sometimes somewhere only rich mixture, only fuel is there, somewhere only air is there. So that means if it is only air, the air fuel ratio, here I have mentioned, whatever may be the air fuel ratio in CI engine, due to injection of fuel, that means due to injection of fuel, there is a heterogeneous mixture with air fuel ratio varying widely in different areas in the cylinder. There may be areas where only air presents. So if it is only air, there is no fuel, air fuel ratio is infinity. While there may be other areas where only fuel present, that means local air fuel ratio is 0. So in between, some more amount of air, less amount of fuel, less amount of air, more amount of fuel is also there. So that means there would be other areas where the mixture is very lean, that are very rich. In the areas mentioned above, no different flame can be sustained, because as it is having somewhere rich mixture, somewhere lean mixture, somewhere only air, somewhere only fuel. So in this situation, no definite flame can sustain. However, there would be certain areas, even though in this condition also there are some areas where the air fuel ratio is in the combustible limit. That's what I have written. However, there would be certain areas where the local air fuel ratio is within combustible limit. So ignition occur in the multiple point. That means in this favorable condition, the ignition start, and if once the ignition start, automatically the neighboring particles, even if they are having more amount of air, less amount of fuel, they are also born. And if this is burned, if for example if it is having more amount of air, less amount of fuel, this is also burned. If it is having more amount of fuel and less amount of air, that is also burned. So that means combustion occur in multiple points wherever the mixture is in the combustible limit. At that point combustion initiate. So the neighboring particles are getting fire from this combustible limit. So that almost the combustion completed in a very less time. So ignition occurs in multiple points under the favorable conditions. Here SI engine and CI engine, load, air fuel ratio. If the SI engine is working under full load, it is stoichiometric air fuel ratio, chemically correct mixture. If, for example, if it is a SI engine, even the engine is working under full load condition, at the time also that means full load, at the time also the maximum air fuel ratio is 20:1. That is also lean mixture. In CI engines, even at full load, the air fuel ratio is lean, because the poor distribution of fuel, because the moment the fuel inject into the air stream, the distribution is not proper. So the distribution is very, very poor. That poor distribution of fuel and its limited intermixing with air, because the distribution is poor, automatically the intermixing is also very less. So limited intermixing with air results in objectionable smoke, because if it is not mixing properly, the combustion is not completed. So because why combustion is not completed, because of these unfavorable conditions, this leads to incomplete combustion. That's why combustion is not completed, and that means if the combustion is not completed, that results in objectionable smoke. More amount of smoke will come. If operated near chemical correct ratio, for example, if the mixture is getting rich and come to stoichiometric ratio 20:1, 19:1, 18:1, next 17:1, 16:1, 15:1, like that. If it come to the towards the stoichiometric ratio, at that time chemically correct ratio, if operated near chemically correct ratio, hence the CI engine must always operate with excess air. That means it results in objectionable smoke if operated near the chemically correct ratio. If it is coming towards the chemically correct ratio, means more amount of fuel is present. If more amount of fuel is present, automatically unburned hydrocarbons remains increases, because as the fuel quantity is more, automatically the after combustion the unburned hydrocarbons are more, so that leads to smoke. So if it is operated near the stoichiometric ratio, it gives more amount of smoke. So that's why the CI engine must always operate with excess air, more amount of air. That's why the CI engine all the time operate at a lean mixture only, 20:1. So thus the power output of CI engine is limited by smoke. So for example, if I come to the rich side, automatically the power output increases, but automatically it will also increase smoke. So the power output of a CI engine is limited by smoke. So the figure shows the effect of air fuel mixture and smoke on power of a CI engine. Air fuel mixture and power output. If I reduce the air fuel mixture, that means towards rich mixture, the automatically the more power is increasing, but automatically this is the objectionable smoke area. This area is giving more smoke. After reaching 18:1, if I come towards chemically correct ratio, the smoke is very, very high. So automatically the air fuel ratio is restricted by smoke. So the power output is restricted by the smoke. Thank you very much.